What is a woman, Prime Minister?
An adult female.
How difficult was that to answer?
Not too hard. I'm not a fan of some of the campaign. There was recently a very controversial visit in Australia that was designed to stir up issues. And
to the first point, it's good that Albo knows what a woman is, considering that he's planning on marrying one soon. But you know what I don't get about this? Actually, there's a lot of things I don't get about everything. But we had literally months, and I know I'm a bit late on this, but anyway, we had months of campaigning and excessive expenditure and just constantly in our ear about the voice and about giving a voice to marginalised people, giving a voice to Indigenous people of this nation. And Albo's failure at implementing the voice referendum at the very same time that he was literally disregarding, and I would say to an extent denigrating, the voices of dissenting women. And by dissenting women, that is just a term I'm using for women who are concerned about their rights and want to speak about their issues, which is exactly what Let Women Speak was, because women have been silenced on this issue for years, and that is why these women attended this event. Australia has a huge problem with censorship, and the problem with it is like so pervasive that people don't even realize that it's going on. Like, that's how deep it is. And the only politicians that cared about the voices of these women were Queens Moira Deeming and Pauline Hanson. They actually came out and spoke at Let Women Speak. They came out there and supported women, while the rest of those elite privileged politicians literally watched from the windows, and they watched as a mob of trans activists were baying for their blood and trying to drown them out, while they were just speaking about their concerns about their safety and about their rights being eroded by this gender ideology and by the changing definition of woman and self-ID, allowing men into women's spaces and sports. Women also have a right to be concerned about this and ask questions. We're not even allowed to ask questions on this. And I'll also never fully comprehend exactly how, you know, we're just speaking about women's rights instantly makes you anti-trans. There's something else to look into for that. It's almost like our concerns are being totally disregarded because we can just be called transphobic, we can just be called Nazis, we can just suffer this rigmarole of repressive intolerance, when most of these are women, grassroots women from the left, grassroots feminists, to be quite honest, who really just care about women and who prioritize women and girls before men who want to be women. I think also another important topic on The Voice and Albo's silencing of women's voices in all this, especially Indigenous women who I have discussed before have a higher incident and rate of incarceration. I think I have the stats on here, if we can just look it up. It's something like, let's see if I can find it, that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders prisoners accounted for 33% of prisoners. And this is despite Aboriginal people making up only 3% of the population. So there is a much higher portion of Indigenous women in prisons, and they are at the moment being forced to be in prison with male offenders. And these are the women in prison, these women will never have a voice. They are like the most voiceless of it all. And while these women in sort of like privileged North Shore electorates can give us sermons about how we should accept and love is love, what about these Indigenous women who are imprisoned with men? And it's probably men, and let's be honest here, it's probably men who got them in that situation to begin with. This is how you know Albo is, he's so fake. He's not genuine at all. He should really be caring about the concerns that women have in this, and that nothing about it is bad at all. These are the concerns of mothers. These are the concerns of women who have worked in fields like teaching and mental health and nursing. And for Albo to say that the voices of these women, or even the voices of these women giving a voice to those women, is just whipping up controversy. This should have been the main voice. Albo, this should be the voice that you care about. And he doesn't. Why? Because we are just forced to go along with this authoritarian, fascist, communist agenda. Well, I'm not going along with it.